On Han Qiming's birthday, I kept it a secret from him. I asked for leave from the company and booked a flight to his city to give him a surprise. This was our first holiday after 3 months together. I brought the lace underwear I just bought in my luggage. All along the way, I was imagining what would happen to us tonight. To be honest, I have been envious of him for 6 years. When I arrived at his door, I called him pretending to be sorry. "Baby, what are you doing? I'm so sorry. I can't fly over to accompany you on your birthday. I really can't leave because of work." When I said this, the corners of my mouth rose wildly, but I still tried to pretend to be a pity. His voice came from the phone, faint, without any joy, anger, sorrow, or happiness. "It's okay. I'm busy too." After hanging up the phone, I played with my phone boredly, looked at the hot searches for a while, and swiped the Weibo homepage. After a while, a strange message popped up. "Celebrating someone's birthday, smiley face." The picture is a girl's selfie with a cake, but I am very familiar with the hand in the corner of the picture. The watch on his hand was bought by me for his birthday last year. The DIY letters HQM on the strap are very clear. I suddenly remembered that the owner of this account is Han Qiming's ex-girlfriend. After they broke up, I secretly set up an anonymous follow for the sake of spying. Later I found that she hadn't updated for half a year, so I gradually forgot about it. I didn't expect that she posted on Weibo again, and it was related to Han Qiming. My heart was deflated all of a sudden, and a long-lost feeling of fatigue swept over me. I clearly realized that this man was not worth it. It seemed normal for me to fall on Han Qiming. In the 3rd year of high school, he transferred to our class and soon became a famous figure on campus. It's not because he has very good grades. On the contrary, his grades are at the bottom of the grade. It's not because he is very handsome. As far as his appearance is concerned, he is at most handsome and delicate. The reason why he can be famous is simply because he is a good mess. In the tense atmosphere of the 3rd year of high school, every student worked hard and used every minute to study. Han Qiming, on the other hand, slept in class, handed in blank papers for exams, and occasionally called a group of younger brothers who ranked at the bottom of the grade like him to skip classes and go to the internet cafe to play games. His family is rich, and his father sent him to our key high school on the condition that he can go to an undergraduate university. Under the pressure of donations, the principal and the head teacher did not dare to be strict with him blatantly, but if his grades don't improve, they will also be in trouble. Thinking that there are more topics and better communication among peers, the head teacher called me to the office. The words were full of affirmation of my academic performance, and finally got to the point. "I hope I can implement one-to-one mutual assistance for Han Qiming to help him improve his grades." Looking at the trusting eyes of the head teacher, it seemed as if I was the most dazzling star of academic master in the world. I nodded and made a firm promise. Han Qiming is a very difficult person to deal with. During the break, I wanted to help him with his homework, but he fell asleep on the table. No matter how I shouted earnestly, I couldn't wake him up. After school, I wanted to explain to him the key points of today's class, but he always ran away without a trace. After several setbacks, my desire to win was aroused. One day, I made up my mind to catch Han Qiming no matter what. As soon as school was over, I quickly followed him, and the two were 2 or 3 meters apart. Han Qiming soon found out, and he turned his head impatiently. "Student bully, you have become so perverted. Why are you following me?" I walked to him with my school bag on my back. "Unless you agree to tutor me, I will follow you every day in the future." Han Qiming's face instantly showed an angry expression, and his fists clenched, but after looking at me, he probably realized that hitting a girl was immoral, so he endured it and controlled himself. I saw him take a deep breath and said something speechless, "Whatever you want." Then he left without looking back. I followed Han Qiming and watched him buy a bottle of sweet milk and turn into an alley. He shouted, and a white kitten with a black pattern on its head ran out and circled around his feet. Han Qiming held it in his arms and stroked it gently. The afterglow of the sunset just happened to fall on him. I suddenly felt that this bad boy in front of me seemed different from what I thought. Han Qiming was obviously someone who had never raised a cat. After petting the kitten for a while, he opened his school bag and took out the sweet milk inside. I rushed over to stop him. Han Qiming frowned impatiently and yelled at me. "Are you annoying?" I knew it was not the time to quarrel. Newborn kittens cannot drink sweet milk. They have poor digestion ability and are prone to vomiting and diarrhea after drinking sweet milk. Han Qiming's facial expression froze. After realizing that I was not joking, embarrassment appeared on his face, but he quickly returned to his normal expression and his tone was much better. "Then what can it drink?" Han Qiming pointed at the kitten in his arms. A light bulb went off in my head. "I told you how to raise a kitten, and you learned from me?" This obviously made him unhappy. He was about to get angry at me, and the little guy in his arms glanced at him at the right time. Han Qiming was discouraged and nodded to agree. On the way to buy goat milk powder, I told him about the precautions of raising cats. He listened carefully and asked more questions when he didn't understand. The first friendly communication between us started because of a kitten. Maybe it was because I helped Han Qiming's kitten that his attitude towards me changed 180 degrees. We agreed that after school, I would tutor him for an hour and a half, and then we would go to feed the cats together, and then go home. I got to know him better by contacting each other every day. Han Qiming said that his parents had been arguing since he could remember. Later, when he was 10 years old, they finally divorced. His mother went abroad and didn't come back for several years. His father spent all his time on his company and didn't care about anything except giving money. Growing up in such a family, he had an obsession with stray animals. He felt that helping them was like helping his former self. Han Qiming said that his father spent money to transfer to another school. He actually studied hard and his grades were not bad. He handed in a blank paper just to irritate his father. Han Qiming said that singing was his dream and he wanted to pursue artistic development, but his father was only interested in him inheriting the family business. Han Qiming also said that he had traveled to many places alone. When he showed me the local customs and practices of various places with photos, his eyes were full of stars. He called me little girl. He asked me why I was so persistent in wanting him to study. He said, "If you had persisted a little longer, I would have been unable to hold back even if the kitten hadn't happened. After all, from childhood to adulthood, no one is like you, who really wants to do good for me." I thought of my original intention at the beginning. In addition to the high hopes placed by the teacher, the rest was simply because the unyielding spirit in my bones had nothing to do with doing good for him. But seeing his moved expression when he talked about this, I still couldn't bear to tell him the truth. If my goodness can make him feel that there is still light in the world, it is worth it. It didn't take much effort to fall in love with Han Qiming. I have been a very typical child of other people's families since I was a child. I am proud of this and have lived for 17 years. But after meeting Han Qiming, I found that the world has another look. It turns out that people are so excited when they have something they like. It turns out that the world is not just the 3 acres of land under my feet, but also poetry and the distance. It turns out that in addition to being good at studying, I can't compare with him in many aspects. One day, I suddenly found that when I had a little free time, my mind was full of Han Qiming's figure. And I knew that my youth was sprouting. I fell in love with a boy with poor grades. Because of him, I started to think for the first time what kind of person I want to be in the future. Han Qiming and I agreed to apply for Luqing together. The entertainment industry in Luqing is developing well. Han Qiming said that his dream of singing may have more opportunities to be realized. And the major I want to study is everywhere. In front of Han Qiming, I made up a story that the school I wanted to apply for was in Luqing. In my heart, it was because I wanted to be in the same city with him. I made up my mind to confess to Han Qiming after the college entrance examination. Although we were unlikely to be in the same school because of our grades, It would be more convenient to go out on a date as long as we were in the same city. I had a big fight with my parents over my college entrance examination wishes. They wanted me to study accounting, which was stable and easy to find a job. I wanted to study psychology and help more people in need. As a result of the argument, I became the disobedient daughter in my parents' words, but I still successfully filled in the relevant majors of psychology on the computer. On the day when the admission notice came out, I asked Han Shiming on QQ how the result was. He didn't reply to me, but called me, "Little girl, I can't go to Luching with you." My heart skipped a beat, and I waited in silence for him to continue. After my dad knew I wanted to apply to Luching, he locked me at home and changed my choice. Now that the admission notice has come, I can only go to Liangchuching to study management. I was very sad. Without Han Shiming, studying in Luching was meaningless to me, but I still comforted him. I told Han Shiming that as long as the dream was there, it didn't matter which city he was in. The universities in two different places pulled the relationship between Han Shiming and me far apart. The contact began to become intermittent. To be precise, I contacted Han Shiming unilaterally, and he rarely contacted me. From the few words he replied, I knew that he joined the school's guitar club and played music. He did very badly in the management course, but under his father's invitation, he got high scores in every course. And he had a girlfriend. Han Shiming spent most of his time accompanying his girlfriend. I looked at his declaration of love posted on QQ Space, his youthful and bright smile, and thought of my forgotten confession, and felt bitter and embarrassed. That night, I went to a music restaurant alone, listening to the rock music on the stage. I drank bottle after bottle of wine. In the end, the restaurant was about to close, but I was drunk and unconscious. I grabbed the person next to me and started vomiting, crying while vomiting. When I woke up, I was in a strange hotel. I felt palpitations and quickly checked my whole body, but I didn't feel any pain. Turning my head, I found a note on the bedside table. You were drunk last night. I don't know where you live, so I can only take you to the hotel. I asked the hotel waiter to help you change your clothes. After changing, I left with the hotel waiter. The hotel fee is 198 yuan. If you feel bad, you can transfer the money to the number below. I looked at the note and felt a little annoyed about last night's indulgence. I thought of Han Shiming again inadvertently, and tears flowed down uncontrollably. After packing up the hotel, I transferred the fee to the unfamiliar account. Looking at the name displayed on it, Lin Tan, I clicked on my phone and sent a message. Thank you. This episode left a heavy mark in my university life, except that I couldn't help but browse Han Shiming's QQ Space at night, watching him and his girlfriend show affection, and crying. I still tried my best to cheer up during the day, burying my head in my university studies, diverting my attention, and not giving myself the opportunity to suffer. 3 months later, when I almost thought I was recovering, Han Shiming sent me a QQ message. He started with a straightforward question. Little girl, are you going to ignore me? I looked at the message. My heart beat faster, and my hands couldn't stop shaking. I thought to myself, you already have a girlfriend. Why are you still looking for me? The message I sent turned out to be, no, I'm just too busy recently. I couldn't bear it after all. And I broke off my relationship with Han Shiming completely. Besides, I never confessed to him. And for him, it was reasonable for him to be unhappy that a good friend who used to ignore him just like this. Han Shiming sent me a swearing expression. I don't care. You have to chat with me often in the future like in high school. I looked at the domineering message he sent and considered how to refuse. You have a girlfriend, so it's the same if she chats with you. Besides, I'm really too busy with schoolwork, and I have to take exams and stuff. Through the screen, I can imagine Han Shiming's frowning expression, but I really can't pretend that nothing has happened when he has a girlfriend. Can a girlfriend care about you the same? You are my best friend. Anyway, no matter how busy you are, you have to chat with me at least once a week. Otherwise, Be careful when you go back home during the holidays. I won't let you go. After saying that, Han Qiming went offline directly, not giving me any chance to refuse. I stared at the message on QQ, dazed for a long time, and finally succumbed to my selfishness. I told myself to be careful to put away my secret love, just treat each other as friends, and get along with each other. I started to contact Han Qiming frequently as in the past. The messages I sent were as emotionless as possible, just simple greetings. How are you doing lately? Have you eaten? Is your homework difficult? After he replied to me a few times, he began to selectively disappear. I vaguely realized that Han Qiming might just enjoy having someone who treats him so well without any scruples. I think it's good that he doesn't reply. One day, I will learn to give up in this long and desperate effort. When I was a junior, I experienced the most socially dead thing in my life. At that time, I successfully applied for an internship at a media company. The reason why I didn't find a job related to psychology is not that I don't like it, but after getting in touch with this industry, I found that I am not suitable. I don't have a strong heart and it is difficult to digest the cases I come into contact with. The main business of this company is to cultivate anchors, and my job content is to help the anchors handle all daily affairs. Considering that I just started working and don't know anything, Sister Lin, who was responsible for leading me, thoughtfully arranged an anchor from the same school as me to lead me. I looked at the first line of the data card, which read name, Lin Tan, and my heart skipped a beat. A flash of memory flashed through my mind, and I remembered the drunken night in my sophomore year, when the boy who sent me to the hotel seemed to be also called Lin Tan. With a fluke mentality, I went to meet the anchor I was going to lead. When I opened the door, Lin Tan, who was sitting on the sofa, raised his head, was obviously stunned for a moment, and then chuckled. It turned out to be you. My face flushed instantly. Sister Lin greeted from the side. Do you know each other? That's great. Tan. Yaya will be in charge of your business from now on. The little girl just arrived. Don't bully her. After that, Sister Lin left, leaving Lin Tan and I staring at each other. I saw him burying his head in his phone again, so I spoke first in embarrassment. Thank you for that night. Lin Tan looked up in surprise, raised his eyebrows and teased. You're welcome. Just don't drink anymore. You vomit and cry when you're drunk, and you'll throw yourself into someone's arms. Fortunately, I met you. Otherwise, a man who couldn't control himself would have done you on the spot. The content of his words reminded me of the fear I felt when I sobered up, and my gratitude for him increased a little. Seeing that I was silent, Lin Tan put away his phone. Do you know what the job is? I shook my head honestly. He looked like he had guessed it a long time ago. It's actually very simple. I will live stream my singing from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. every night. All you need to do is to help me adjust the equipment before the live broadcast and control the comments during the live broadcast. Also, do a data analysis of my live broadcast for me once a week, which should include the gifts given to me by fans every night. I was a little confused. That's all? Don't I have to serve tea and water and be on call? My job, in addition to live broadcasting, is to take care of all his daily needs, including 3 meals a day, moving luggage and other chores. Lin Tan laughed at my ignorant and sincere question. He walked over and naturally reached out to ruffle my hair. Ha 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 Gaye. You are so funny. I'm just a small anchor, not a big star. It's not that troublesome. He leaned over and whispered in my ear, but if you want to take care of my daily life, you can. After all, I'm single. After that, Lin Tan left while laughing. I sat on the stool with a red face, thinking about what he just said, but a QQ sound came from my phone. I clicked it and saw Han Qiming's avatar flashing. If you don't want to come back, then don't come back. What's the big deal? Scrolling up again, I saw the message I sent him this morning. I told him that I found an internship. I won't go home during the summer vacation. My heart softened, and after a long pause, I still replied to the message. I will try to find time to go back. I didn't expect Han Chiming to attack suddenly. That day, I was discussing the content of the live broadcast with Lin Tan that night, and I received his message. Little girl, I'm here to see you, just downstairs from your company. I couldn't stop feeling happy, and the corners of my mouth began to rise uncontrollably. I really miss Han Chiming after not seeing him for a long time. Seeing my visibly happy face, Lin Tan frowned slightly and asked casually, boyfriend? I instantly remembered that Han Chiming already had a girlfriend, and my mood suddenly dropped a lot. No. Lin Tan stared at my face. Do you like him? I looked directly into Lin Tan's eyes. Yes. He's downstairs in the company now. Can I take a day off today? Although there seems to be no possibility between Han Chiming and me at the moment, I'm still very happy to see him. Lin Tan lowered his head and thought for a long time. So long that I almost thought that today's leave would not be granted. He suddenly leaned back on the sofa and rubbed his brows. Go. I was ecstatic, packed my bag, and ran out quickly. But when I got downstairs in the company, I saw that Han Chiming brought a girl with him. Perhaps because the weather was too hot, the girl was wiping the sweat off her face with a tissue while throwing a tantrum. Han Chiming pulled her into his arms, lowered his head and kissed her, coaxing her softly. That expression was the gentlest I had ever seen. My heart sank, but I still walked towards them with a stiff step. Han Chiming saw me at this time. He waved at me. As soon as I got to them, he stuffed the luggage into my hands. Little girl, Luching is too hot. Where do you live? We want to go there quickly to put our luggage and enjoy the air conditioning. I was a little stunned. What are you doing at my house? Han Chiming was a little dissatisfied with what I said. Nonsense. If we come to Luching, where else can we live if not at your house? I listened to his words in disbelief, but my heart seemed to be swept by a tornado. You two want to live at my house? Han Chiming looked at me with a look of idiocy and did not answer. But the house I rented is a single room. The girl next to me suddenly spoke up. She smiled at me sweetly. It's okay. Yeah. My baby and I can just sleep on the floor. My brain, which had been idle, restarted. Although I knew that my next words would make my relationship with Han Chiming very bad, I still said it. You should stay in a hotel. My house is not suitable for you two. Han Chiming's temper came up. Little girl, you are so disloyal. I looked at Han Chiming calmly, pursed my lips, and said nothing. After Han Chiming looked at me, his eyes began to become a little strange, as if he remembered something. In the end, he compromised and took his girlfriend away. I returned to the company in a daze, and Lin Tan was a little confused about my sudden return. But after seeing that I was in a bad mood, he didn't ask anything, but came over and hugged me in his arms. I didn't push him away. I really need someone to comfort me silently now. I spent 2 whole days with Han Chiming and his girlfriend on the weekend. During these 2 days, I watched Han Chiming and his girlfriend interlock their fingers, hug, kiss lightly, and kiss deeply. The only thing to be thankful for is that as their actions became more and more intimate, my discomfort seemed to decrease layer by layer. At first, I felt like my heart was being pulled out and thrown on the ground and trampled hard. But later, the pain was like a small needle gently piercing. After taking them to play around the city and having fun to their heart's content, they finally wanted to leave. At the high-speed rail station, Han Chiming's girlfriend took the initiative to come forward and hug me. Yeah. I wanted to come and see what kind of flirtatious girl Han Chiming's good friend is. I didn't expect that you are really different from other girls. Seeing that you two have no feelings for each other, I feel relieved. I listened to her words and suddenly felt sick in my stomach. I was disgusted with both of them, and also with myself, for being so shamelessly in love with a boy for so many years. After they left, I felt like I had peeled off a layer of skin, and felt tired from the inside out. After returning to the rental house, I felt uncomfortable all over and fell asleep in a daze. Because I drew the curtains, I didn't realize it was dark. I slept in a dark night until I was awakened by a burst of urgent phone ringing. The ringing sounded like a series of fatalities. making people restless. I picked up the phone, and Lin Tan's voice came all over the place. Yay, why haven't you arrived at the company yet? Then I remembered that I had an appointment with Lin Tan this evening to go to the company to check the products to be put on the shelves for tomorrow's music live broadcast. I wanted to get up, but found that I had no strength in my body. Sorry, Lin Tan, you go home first. I seem to be a little sick and can't go. Lin Tan was silent for a while, probably wanting to curse at me, but because I was a patient, he couldn't do it. Just as I was about to hang up the phone, Lin Tan's voice came over again. You didn't sleep at home all day, did you? You haven't seen a doctor yet. Lin Tan is the roundworm in my stomach. Seeing that I didn't respond, Lin Tan asked me to tell him my home address, and then hung up the phone in a hurry. Although we have only known each other for a month, I know that Lin Tan is a very good person. If there is a justice award in this world, Lin Tan will definitely be ranked first. He is the kind of person who will take the initiative to help when he sees someone in need. He can't stand people cutting in line, can't stand people littering, and regularly goes to the mountains to do charity every year, and also supports poor students. I am very glad that I met him when I was drunk that year, so I was relieved when he came to my house. Almost half an hour later, Lin Tan had already arrived at my house. When he saw my pale face, his first reaction was to probe my forehead. I have become accustomed to his little movements from time to time, and I let him do it. Lin Tan started to curse. Your forehead is so hot. You dare to sleep alone at home. Aren't you afraid of getting burned into a fool? Then I saw Lin Tan grabbed my coat on the sofa, grabbed my hand, and pulled me out of the house. Come on, I'll take you to see a doctor. You must take some antipyretics. When I really woke up again, I was already in the hospital with an 4 drip. Lin Tan was sitting next to me, playing games on his phone. Looking closely at his profile, he seemed to be much better looking than Han Qiming. No wonder so many fans like him. Senior year, more and more people watched Lin Tan's live broadcast, and I became busier and busier. Sometimes when I was really busy, I would forget to send messages to Han Qiming once a week, and I would think of him less and less. My life was almost filled with work, and the only person I worked for was Lin Tan. Han Qiming saw that I was posting photos of Lin Tan more and more frequently in my moments because of work, so he sent me a WeChat message. At this time, we no longer use QQ, but WeChat instead. Little girl, even if it's work, you don't have to pay so much attention to other men. I was so busy that my feet couldn't touch the ground, and I replied perfunctorily, I will block you next time I send messages. When I finally had some free time and looked at the messages, Han Qiming sent me dozens of voice messages and messages, arguing with me that men and women should not be intimate, that people who work don't have real feelings, and that I shouldn't be too close to Lin Tan. In the last message, he seemed to be deflated. Little girl, are you in love with him? I stared at my phone in a daze. Do I like Lin Tan? I don't know. Since I met Lin Tan, he has been like an almighty Doraemon. Every time I was sick, he would run to my house to take care of me. When I was frustrated because of love or work, he would stay by my side to comfort me. Lin Tan is a perfect male friend. Not only does he have a good face and a good voice, but he also has a good heart. Because I am sure that he is helpful by nature, I always habitually accept all his help. I don't know if this means that I like him, but what I can be sure of is that I do rely on him. When I was lost in thought, I looked up and saw Lin Tan chatting with a female anchor in the company. His eloquent mouth made the female anchor laugh. It seems that for the first time, I can't stand his behavior. Near graduation, Han Qiming ran to Luqing again. The difference is that this time he was alone. He was waiting downstairs of my company. As soon as I appeared, he stepped forward and hugged me. Little girl, I broke up with Bai Bing. Bai Bing is Han Qiming's girlfriend who has been dating for 4 years. Before I recovered from his words, his next sentence made my heart beat wildly. So, will you be my girlfriend? I didn't ask him why he broke up with his girlfriend. I just knew that I couldn't resist such a huge temptation. This is something I have been looking forward to since my senior year of high school, and now it has appeared so quietly and arrived. My brain can hardly think. I can't remember Han Qiming's indifference to me and the harm he has done to me over the years. I can't remember Lin Tan's care for me and his kindness to me. I only know that being with Han Qiming has always been my obsession. Now the opportunity is right in front of me. I must seize it. Well, okay. I nodded, and added another sentence in fear that Han Qiming couldn't see clearly. He was ecstatic, hugged my face, and started kissing. I passively accepted it and felt this belated kiss. When I came to my senses, I found that Lin Tan was standing in the distance, looking at the two of us coldly. Han Qiming pulled me over and pretended to possess me. My heart suddenly turned cold. I saw Lin Tan laughed sarcastically and turned away. I felt complicated. After I asked Lin Tan for leave on WeChat, I accompanied Han Qiming for 3 days before returning to the company. When I opened the door of Lin Tan's office, he looked up at me coldly, buried his head in his phone again, and didn't say a word to me. I felt a little uncomfortable and took the initiative to speak. Is there anything you want me to do? Lin Tan replied coldly with one word. No. The next sentence was even more ruthless. Can you leave? I don't want to see you for the time being. I was stimulated by Lin Tan's attitude, and a feeling of grievance suddenly surged in my heart. Lin Tan has always been kind to me and has never treated me with such an indifferent attitude. I wanted to turn around and leave angrily, but Lin Tan suddenly put down his phone, rushed forward and hugged me in his arms. He hurriedly found my lips and bit them. He didn't let me go until my lips were swollen after kissing me. Lin Tan panted slightly and whispered in my ear, "Don't be with him, okay? Yeah. I like you. It started a long time ago. I like the way you hold my hand when you're drunk. I like your serious character. I like the way you rely on me. Except that you don't like me. I like every bit of you. So, dump him and be with me, okay?" He put his head on my neck and rubbed it. I wanted to push him away, but my hands couldn't do anything. In the past few years, Lin Tan's love for me was so obvious, but I always regarded it as his gentlemanly demeanor, comforting myself that these were just mutual care between good friends. We just maintained the hugging posture. He was quietly waiting for my answer, but I didn't know how to respond to him. Just when we were deadlocked, Han Qiming called. I woke up suddenly and hung up the voice call instinctively, looking at Lin Tan's unfriendly face. I moved my lips and said softly, "I'm sorry." Then I pushed the door open and walked out. Lin Tan was left alone in the office. I used to dream of being with Han Qiming one day. After we were together, I felt very tired. He was like a child who had never grown up. He said that love should be close. And then he asked me to reply to all his messages immediately. If I didn't send him a message for half an hour, he would keep sending me 60-second voice messages until I replied. Every time I opened WeChat and saw dozens of voice messages, I wanted to throw my phone away. When I was working, especially when I was on duty to follow up Lin Tan's live broadcast, Han Qiming's calls would definitely come on time, and I often couldn't take care of both ends. I complained to him that I had my own work to do. He pouted and said indifferently, "You don't make much money in your job in a month. You might as well come to my father's company and be my assistant. I will give you a high salary." I felt that the man in front of me was becoming more and more unfamiliar. He used to be passionate about music, and his eyes were full of light. It was also because of his influence that I chose the media industry as my second job. But now, he took his father's help for granted and completely forgot his dreams. I wanted to refute him, but as soon as I opened my mouth, he became persistent. "Little girl, you are probably reluctant to part with that stinky man. What's so good about him? He's just a singer who sings for money on the internet." I hung up Han Qiming's phone directly. When I put down my phone and returned to the office, Lin Tan was sitting on the sofa playing games. Since the last unpleasant parting, his attitude towards me has been very cold. He took away all the privileges he had on me, unless it was required for work. He would no longer respond to any of my needs in private, including ordinary small talk. I felt like I was suddenly banished to the cold palace. But in the final analysis, it was my own fault. One night, I dreamed that Lin Tan found a beautiful girlfriend and kissed and hugged her in front of me. After waking up, I couldn't sleep all night. I could feel that some important things seemed to be moving away from me. I wanted to grab them desperately, but I couldn't let go of the past. I didn't dare to think deeply about my abnormality. I was afraid that I made the wrong decision at the beginning. In order to calm my inner restlessness, I contacted Han Qiming more and more frequently, even more frequently than when I first had a crush on him. Anyway, he is my current boyfriend. On Han Qiming's birthday, I took my newly bought lace underwear and booked a plane ticket to fly to his city to give him a surprise. Since we started dating, we have been apart more often than together. Perhaps a closer contact can make me more immersed in the relationship. It was not until I stood at the door of Han Qiming's house and saw his Weibo post about a party with his ex-girlfriend that I realized I was wrong. In addition to the long-lost fatigue, there was also a long-lost sense of relief. I knew that I had finally completely expelled the emotional toxins that had been in my body for so long. I let go of my obsession with Han Qiming. I would no longer care about any of his feelings. I carried my suitcase and walked back slowly, but suddenly thought of another person in my mind. I booked the fastest flight and rushed to his house. On the way, I posted a circle of friends. There was only one picture with the content of my suitcase and the door of Han Qiming's house, and no copy. After posting, I turned off my phone. Now, what is more important to me is that I want to chase back the person who is really good to me. Lin Tan opened the door and was surprised when he saw me. He had a complicated expression, as if he thought of something, and pursed his lips and said coldly, "Aren't you going to find a boyfriend across the city? Why? You were kicked out?" I ignored the sarcasm in his words. "Yeah, I was kicked out. So do you still want me?" Perhaps the emotion in my eyes was too happy. Lin Tan stared at my eyes in disbelief, and finally his face gradually turned red, but he still roared in a fierce tone, "I don't want to settle for second best." I put my hands on his face to make him believe my true feelings. I didn't settle for second best. I was serious. Lin Tan was silent. He looked at me carefully, and seriously confirmed my feelings. After a while, he pulled me into his house, pressed me against the door and kissed me. I responded to him passionately. My heart was filled with a sense of happiness. This was a joy that came from emotional equality. I wanted to give him all of myself. While taking a shower, I remembered the lace underwear in the suitcase and called Lin Tan to help me get it. There was a rustling sound outside, and then Lin Tan knocked on the bathroom door, and the words he said were full of jealousy. "Is this sexy underwear prepared for your ex-boyfriend?" He had automatically put himself in the position of my current boyfriend. I turned off the sound of the water in the bathroom, and through the frosted glass door, he could vaguely see the outline of my body. I opened a crack and stuck my head out. "Yes, but now it's a bargain for someone." Lin Tan's ears were red, but he was still unforgiving. "You might as well stay naked, so you don't have to take it off." I hummed, pulled the lace underwear, and went back into the bathroom. When I came out, he was lying on the bed playing with his phone. He looked refreshed. Obviously he had taken a shower in the bathroom in the living room. My face flushed slightly, and I pulled the towel on my body and walked to the bed in small steps. Lin Tan looked up at me infatuatedly, and when I just sat on the bed, he jumped up and pounced on me. When he pulled off my towel, he whispered a dirty word of secret pleasure. Yes, I obediently didn't wear that lace underwear, and replaced it with a smooth body. After that, a night of indulgence. The result of indulgence is that the whole body aches the next day. When I woke up, my whole body felt like it was run over by a car. Lin Tan lay next to me, kissed me naturally, and got up to make breakfast. After living for 24 years, I seemed to have just experienced the taste of love for the first time. When I turned on my phone, it rang. I looked at the familiar name on the screen, and my heart was calm. I opened WeChat, and dozens of messages popped up, all of which were Han Qiming's voice messages. I clicked on them one by one. Little girl, you are in my city. I don't have to work overtime tonight. I will go back immediately. Why didn't you answer the phone? Is your phone out of power? Where are you? Reply to me as soon as you receive it. Little girl, are you angry? I didn't know you would come over. I was wrong. I will never do that again. I took a screenshot of Han Qiming's girlfriend's Weibo and sent it to him, and replied, let's break up. After that, I blocked him. While eating, Lin Tan kept staring at my face, eating and grinning. I felt embarrassed by his gaze and said in a somewhat annoyed way, stop looking. But he suddenly became serious and said inexplicably, yeah, have you really thought it through? I wanted to give him a slap in the face. I did everything last night, and he asked me this question at this time. When he saw me rolling my eyes, he suddenly laughed. That smile was like the sunshine in the morning, which could touch people's hearts. Yeah, you don't know. I've been waiting for this moment for too long. When I first met you, I thought, how could anyone not like such a pretty girl? After we broke up, my life went on as usual, without much change. It wasn't until 2 years later, when I met you again, that I suddenly thought, maybe I hadn't been in a relationship all this time, just to wait for you. I didn't believe in fate before, but I happened to meet you twice in this big city. When I believed in fate, you always had someone else in your heart. I wanted to let you go and forget you, but because of work, you were hanging around me every day. After you got together with him, I wanted to quit many times. Out of sight, out of mind. Fortunately, you chose me in the end. Yeah, if you choose me, you have to be responsible for me. Understand? You can't abandon me after having an affair, and you can't go back to your ex. I looked at his sincere look and nodded seriously, indicating my agreement. I spent 2 days at home with Lin Tan. When we went to work together on Monday, it was no surprise that we saw Han Qiming downstairs of the company. He was always clean, but now he had a scruffy beard and bloodshot eyes. He looked haggard and had not rested for a long time. The love rivals were particularly jealous when they met. Lin Tan grabbed my hand tightly and walked around Han Qiming quickly. Han Qiming grabbed my other hand and looked at me with bloodshot eyes. Little girl, I know I was wrong, but you don't have to find such a person to make me angry. Lin Tan pulled me behind him. Who said my girlfriend was to make you angry? You think too highly of yourself. Han Qiming stared at me in disbelief. Are you with him? I held Lin Tan's hand tighter, interlocking our fingers. Yes, I like him. Han Qiming seemed to be defeated and lost his momentum in an instant. Tears welled up in his eyes, but he obviously didn't want to be completely defeated in front of Lin Tan. You like him? What about me? You have loved me for so many years. How can you just stop loving me? Little girl, you are still mad at me, right? I listened to his words, and my heart was chilled. It turns out that you, Han Qiming, knew that I liked you a long time ago. You knew that I liked you, but you kept me hanging for so many years? I thought it was natural that I didn't confess to you, so you were with someone else. It turns out that you knew it a long time ago. You just kept me as a spare tire, and you confessed to me 3 months ago when you really had no choice. Now that the spare tire has run away, you are reluctant to let go, right? Han Qiming, you really disgust me. Do you know that what you just said makes me feel that my entire youth has been wasted? I pulled Lin Tan away angrily. Han Qiming panicked and held my hand tightly from behind. No, little girl, listen to my explanation. I shook him off and left with Lin Tan without looking back. I saw Han Qiming again in my hometown. When he went home for the Chinese New Year, Han Qiming brought many gifts and came to my house to visit my parents. When I was in the 3rd year of high school, my parents always knew about his existence because of tutoring, but he hadn't appeared for many years, and suddenly came to my house during the spring festival. My parents were a little surprised. but they didn't say anything. I watched him busying around in my house with cold eyes, and I felt very uncomfortable. In front of my parents, it was not easy to get angry directly, so I could only call him out of the house on the pretext of continuing our friendship. Before leaving, my mother deliberately called me aside. Ye, since Xiao Han has come to admit his mistake, you should give him a way out. It's not easy for two people to love each other. You liked him so much before, and now you finally get what you want. Don't let yourself run away. I nodded randomly, but I made up my mind and sent a WeChat message to someone while my mother was not paying attention. Someone has set his sights on my parents and has already entered the house. Then I took a picture of Han Qiming at home. Lin Tan replied immediately. Damn, give me your home address. After I sent him the location, I felt much happier instantly. I walked out of the door easily, and Han Qiming followed me silently. When we arrived at the downstairs of the community, he couldn't help but speak first. Little girl, I'm sorry. It's not that I didn't like you before. I was too young at that time and was used to you being by my side, so I never really thought about what this kind of companionship meant to me. I really don't use you as a spare tire. When he mentioned the spare tire, I was annoyed. Whether you are a spare tire or not, it doesn't matter anymore. Without Lin Tan watching, Han Qiming's tears fell at the right time, and at the same time, he knelt down in front of me with a plop. I know I was wrong, little girl, but you can't not give me a chance. We have known each other for such a long time. You should at least give me a fair chance to compete. You liked me before, and you will definitely like me again now. I was shocked by Han Qiming's shamelessness, but I also wanted to take this opportunity to completely stop him from pestering me. I used to like you because you had your own dreams and were well informed, but since you made up your mind to give up the idea of singing, my love for you has only been inertia, and these only inertias have disappeared in your repeated hurts. You said let me give you another chance, but I have fallen in love with someone else. The place in my heart is all occupied. How can I make room for you? Han Qiming, let go. You did a good job of ignoring me in the past. Why can't you continue to do so? Because of you, I have suffered in my relationship for many years. Now I am finally happy. Can you not ruin it? Just think of it as leaving a good impression on the beautiful you in my memory. Han Qiming listened to what I said with a pale face. His fingertips were clenched into fists, and the whole person looked like he would fall down with a gust of wind. In the end, he was silent for a long time, but still turned and left. His footsteps were heavy and staggering as he left. I know that this time, he really let it go. Lin Tan and I got married 2 years later, on the night when I had a complete talk with Han Qiming. After Lin Tan rushed to my house overnight, I formally introduced him to my parents. He is sunny and cheerful, and he is also sweet-mouthed. It took almost no effort to coax my parents to treat him as their own son. In his spare time, he would play chess with my dad. My dad has a bad habit of being addicted to chess and always regretting his moves. None of his friends like to play with him, only Lin Tan, who never tires of accompanying him. He kept talking about it whenever he had time. Ye, when will Xiao Tan come to visit again? It doesn't matter if you don't come back. Just let Xiao Tan come. Lin Tan would also buy all kinds of skincare products for my mother. Every time he saw my mother, he would say something that middle-aged women like to hear. Auntie, you are getting more and more beautiful. Listen to me, Auntie, you will definitely look charming in this dress. My mother treated him like a beauty consultant and sent him WeChat messages whenever she had time. Xiao Tan, Auntie has just learned a new skincare method. Can you help me with some advice and see if it works? I saw Lin Tan enjoying himself in my home and felt that my position was threatened. My parents used to treat me like a baby. Now, when eating, their favorite words to remind me have become, Ye. Don't bully Lin Tan just because he is honest. If you dare to treat him badly, I will be the first one to not forgive you. Fortunately, in front of Lin Tan's parents, they also treated me like their own daughter, which allowed me to find a little balance. Xiao Tan, if you dare to treat Yaya badly, Just try it. Yeah. If Xiao Tan bullies you, just tell us, and we will teach him a lesson for you. When I married Lin Tan, I was already 3 months pregnant. When I put on my dream wedding dress, Lin Tan refused to let me wear high heels, fearing that I would walk unsteadily. I complained about his control desire, but when he hugged me and kissed me, I completely gave up my idea of being the most perfect bride. At the wedding, we made a promise to each other to stay together for life and exchanged rings in the presence of our parents, relatives and friends. After the bride and groom kissed, I accidentally turned my head and saw Han Qiming. He was in tears, and when he saw my eyes, he raised a blessing smile to me. I didn't invite him to my wedding. He came by himself. I saw that he had lost a lot of weight. His cheeks were sunken, and I felt a little sad. But I quickly adjusted my state. Today is my wedding day, and I have to look at my groom carefully. He is the one who will always accompany me in my life.